Hi guys, it's Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. So it's been a minute since I filmed a rant review for a single book, which is, you know, quite a good sign because it means I actually haven't read any shit books in quite a long time. But unfortunately, that streak is going to be broken today because I need to complain. Especially since it is a new release and so much of the initial reaction has been so overwhelmingly positive. I feel like I wanted to add my voice to the mix and kind of present a bit of a contrasting opinion, apparently, because most other people really enjoyed this. The book I'm talking about today is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is a thriller that came out at the beginning of May, if I remember correctly. And it has a very interesting premise, which initially drew me to it. It follows a married couple, Millicent and an unnamed guy, who is the narrator of the story. They have two children, Rory and Jenna, and basically the gist of the book is that this man helps his wife find and kill women. So I've heard it said it's like a mixture of Dexter and the Santa Clarita Diet, which is pretty accurate. I haven't seen Dexter. I've seen like one season of the Santa Clarita Diet, so I guess you could say that that's kind of accurate. In order to like find these women, this man pretends to be deaf and he claims, he gives himself the name Tobias, and he just like tells these women, he like messages them, no, he like types out a text message on his phone, hello, I'm Tobias, I'm deaf, and like shows them. And they were like breaks the ice. It's very icky, I know. But it's not the worst part, clearly, since he's also ending up killing them. And then he just like basically finds these women and like hands them off to his wife somehow. Like he's never been involved in the killings, but he's clearly responsible. Like he finds these women, so like he picks them, you know, like profiles them, that kind of thing. So that's the gist of the plot. And I'm just gonna give you a few like non-spoilery thoughts, just like generalized. So first of all, I thought the book started off interesting, but lost me very, very quickly. It was not at all suspenseful. It was not at all scary or interesting. And I genuinely was so bored throughout most of it. The first, I would say like 80% of this book is just about how like this man, I'm just gonna call him Tobias, even though he's not actually named Tobias, probably. It's about Tobias like finding these women, all his weird backstory with Millicent, like how they met. Like at any point, he has like these flashbacks, like, I don't even know, like giving this backstory on their relationship that I just don't care about. Like I don't care how they met, I don't care about anything really, not even like who they first killed. Like I don't care about any of that, and unfortunately a lot of time is devoted to that, but it never really goes beyond the surface, it seems like. The characters in general feel very, very flat, and you feel very detached from what they're doing, because from the get-go you know that they're shitty people, and that means that you don't trust them. That means that you automatically, like, at least I automatically thought about all the horrible things that they could be also doing behind the scenes, and a lot of that turned out to be true. So like the twists and stuff like that, there weren't actually any until maybe the ending, but nothing was surprising to me, because the thing is, when you already make a character out to kind of, you know, be a horrible person, doing what is one of the most horrible things that you can do, murdering people, you start like believing anything about them. Like you can imagine them doing anything and nothing is gonna come as a surprise because you already knew that they were that kind of person. So there's no subversion of expectations whatsoever. It literally just tells you, these people are horrible, and then expects you to be surprised when they do other horrible things. Like, how is that ever gonna work? So as I said, the pacing was atrocious. It was painfully boring. I did not care about the characters. It's just not compelling. It's just not compelling whatsoever, especially since there was so little nuance. And it was never even explained really why they were doing what they were doing, what was the point, what were they getting out of it? Like, they were just like, essentially just like one-dimensional people that were just doing shitty things for no apparent reason. So I really think that this book's biggest flaw is its premise and a lack of talent, I think that sounds mean, on the author's part to like make something with the premise that she has chosen. Like, I'm sorry, it just didn't work. So that's kind of where I want to leave it at as far as the non-spoilery part is concerned. So now let's talk about some spoilers. So essentially what they end up doing over the course of the book is sort of resurrecting a serial killer that has haunted their town like several years ago. And they're basically making it look like these women that they are abducting are being abducted by him. And since Tobias had gotten kind of privately more information on Owen, the serial killer, he starts writing letters to journalists, kind of convincing them that he's back by revealing all these intimate details that he would have no other way of knowing, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, apparently it's very easy to find his stuff out, so who knows? Without really discussing this ever, they start splitting up this work. So Tobias does all the preparation and like picking out the women and writing these letters and handling that side of things, whereas Millicent is the one that like actually tortures and kills these women, because since Owen kept his victims for over a year, they decided to do the same. So she has like a place that Tobias doesn't know about. Like, he knows nothing about what she's actually doing, and she's just like taking these victims to a unknown location, keeping them there, torturing them there for a year, and then eventually killing them. And this setup alone is so strange to me, because Tobias never asks any questions to Millicent about what she's doing, like what this is even giving her. Like, honestly, I feel like, I mean, they're clearly both disturbed, but still killing someone is still to me a little different, just killing someone, than keeping them for a year and actively torturing them and then killing them. Like, it's very clear that is so much worse. And to me, it's just so absurd that Tobias does not question this at all when he first finds out that that is what Millicent has been doing, because he was convinced that the first girl that they killed, she had killed like immediately when they captured her, and said she'd kept her for a year and actually not told him. So there's already so much like iffiness going on, and the fact that Tobias never questions it, never even like, not even questioning in like a critical sense, but like he doesn't even ask any questions like, why did you do this? It's so absurd, it's very hard to believe, and it just makes this whole situation even more ridiculous to me. We're also treated to some tragic backstory on Millicent, where it is revealed that she had a sister called Holly who used to basically torture her as a child. She was her older sister, and she would harm her and then like make her not tell their parents or something like that. She would find like secret ways to torture her in like small ways, and even tried to kill her apparently at one point. And she was put into a mental institution, and when Millicent and Tobias were already married, she was released and came to their house, and Tobias ended up killing her. So she was their first victim because he thought that she was threatening his wife. And we find out later that actually Millicent had been the one who was torturing Holly and just making it look like she was the victim, when actually she was the perpetrator. So that was supposed to be kind of the first part of the twist, I guess, that she was actually the evil one, which again came as no surprise because we already know that that is who she is. Like, she keeps people locked up for a year, tortures them and kills them. This is really not that surprising, honestly. And this really was one of my biggest gripes, because I feel like this entire backstory of Holly just makes no fucking sense. We're supposed to believe that Millicent just enjoys torturing people based on that. And later it's revealed that she's also been giving her daughter Jenna like eye drops that can apparently make you sick. So she's been giving her these eye drops to give her stomach aches and stomach problems. What? Where's the motive? And I get it's just trying to be like, she likes torturing people. These are children. I'm pretty sure not even serial killers and like psychopaths and like torturing their children. I feel like that's on such a different level. Like, why? The big twist at the end of the book is supposed to be that Millicent has been setting up Tobias this entire time, and she has basically been leaving samples of his sweat and blood in the place where she has been torturing and killing these women. He has never been there. He's never asked after it, obviously, because he's stupid. So she just like does her own thing there. She left like a ton of blood of the victims. She left other women there that she had killed by herself. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, who did not see that coming? I was thinking this entire time, clearly, since Tobias had no idea what Millicent was actually doing, and we already know she's a shit person. Like, obviously she's trying to bring him down and set him up, like, so clearly. And then her motive is revealed to be just like, oh, he cheated on me. What? Just genuinely the biggest WTF moment. It's like, oh, you cheated on me, so now I'm like setting you up for murder. This has been years in the making. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. It ends with Tobias breaking into his own house after he's been forced to flee because he has come to the realization that Millicent has been poisoning Jenna, their child. So he is like, no, she cannot have custody of our children. I can't let this happen. When, like, genuinely, what are you worried about? You're just trading one serial killer for another. Like, both of you are horrible people. There's no moral high ground for you to stand on. There's no like, no, I need to protect my children. Like, I get that you haven't ever harmed them yet, but who knows? No one understands your motives. So anything is possible at this point, genuinely. So he breaks into their house to kill Millicent, who has been in typical like cartoon villain style, waiting up for him in the dark with like a weapon in her hand. Like, it's just, yeah. So they have this very clearly like overt conversation about what they did and what Millicent did, like admitting guilt and just without even being asked, like, your children in the house. That was my first thought. Like, your children in the house, they don't yet know that, no, not their father is a murderer, but their mother. Or actually both of them, but like actively murdered only their mother. Of course, they appear in the room, they see everything, they like start questioning their mother. And then Jenna, because like Millicent is trying to kill Tobias, Jenna grabs a knife and just kills her mother. Because that's an easy thing to do for like a 12-year-old. Yeah, definitely happening. Definitely happening. Yeah, like you just learned about the situation 2 seconds ago. You thought your other parent was a killer. You know, you're not going to have a quick enough change of heart. You're not going to believe it at first. Why would you just like run and kill your mother? Yeah. So Millicent dies and Tobias comes out on top. He's cleared. This is another thing. Apparently, if he had just waited long enough, forensic evidence had shown that all the like sweat and blood samples around this torture place had been like placed at the same time because they were at the same stage of decay. So this whole scene wasn't even necessary. Like, he could have just stayed away. He could have even just given himself up to the police and eventually they would have figured it out. Wait, or actually these were planted, so you're free to go. Like, all of this was so unnecessary. It's so stupid. I've said that a million times, but it's true. So Tobias comes out on top. He's cleared of all charges. His entire involvement in this thing is just forgotten about, or so it seems. And then we come to the epilogue where it shows that Tobias and the children have moved to England, I believe, like Edinburgh. It shows him in a bar, like doing his old tricks again, like telling women that he's deaf. And to me, that was a halfway decent ending, because up until that point, I was very disappointed with the fact that Tobias's involvement just wasn't actually discussed at all. And he seemed to be like the innocent one, like protecting his children from their murderous parent. Like, sorry kids, you have two, unfortunately. And this was the point where it kind of brought it back around, like kind kind of questioning, I guess, if maybe Millicent wasn't like the mastermind behind all of it, if possibly Tobias had like seen through all that and made a contingency plan. Like, I don't even know how he would have, because it's genuinely kind of stupid. But, you know, it kind of at least leaves you with a hint of that feeling, like maybe he planned it this way. Sorry, it's so bright. Maybe this was all part of his plan, although what that would have been and would have looked like eludes me entirely. Like, there's no way he actually could have planned all this. But yeah, it definitely shows that he is still up to his old tricks and like still, I don't know if he is just flirting with them to get them to sleep with him, or if he is an end goal again would be to kidnap and murder them. But since he's never actually killed anyone except for Holly, I don't really get it. Like, it's just this book seems like a pile of unconnected random ideas that the author had on how to write a thriller, or like what to put into a thriller, and then she just put them all together. And it unfortunately didn't work out. I hope you enjoyed this rant. It's been a minute, but here we go. I think my last one was Lady Midnight. It's definitely been a while. But that is where I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like and let me know in the comments if you would have enjoyed this book or not. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you know when I upload, which is every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And I hope to see you very soon with another video. Until then, have a lovely week. Bye.